experiences will lead to a very high purpose, and that high purpose will get you the money automatically. That day you don't have to think like, if I lose something here on this track, or you'll not be afraid to follow that track. Why? Because force from inside is so strong that if something goes wrong in that track, you will be like, okay, I know I can fix it very easily. It's just a matter of that time to pass, or I can fix those things very easily. So when yourself is there, you are listening to yourself, it is like you are solving a purpose of why you are on this earth. And it is very important to make yourself practice to listen to yourself, because that is where your peace lies. That is where your purpose of this life lies. So there are different kinds of dreams, right? Your mind will think different kind of dreams, and your soul will tell. Your soul doesn't think. It tells you, it speaks to you. That soul will speak different types of things to you. So if I talk about dreams, serving humanity is connected to your heart, and that is the purpose of your soul. Something might be there that your soul is telling you to do, and that will make the world smile, because you are smiling when you are doing that thing. Your mind might have a totally different dream. My mind might have a dream to have a car, or maybe have a big mansion, or something in which you have to invest money, and you're thinking to multiply that. But when you're thinking from your heart, your focus is completely different, to give yourself into the service of the universe, and the activities you're doing are different, because the type of energy you are in that day is completely different. So the dreams of your mind is different, or I would say are different. The dreams of yourself is different. So when you start to connect to yourself, you'll know if your dream is money minded, or if I am actually serving the universe, and my focus is not earning money, but my focus is to make an impact, or if I can save people, or even if I can make people smile. You will be serving the universe that time, and that is where your soul purpose comes in. So you cannot reach to your soul purpose until unless you have learned all your lessons that you came here for. You are put into troubles so that you can grow. What is growing? Your mind is expanding. You are not narrow-minded then. You are actually trying everything that you can do, but sometimes you fail. You know why you're failing? Because you're thinking from your mind. But when you just listen what is inside and you do, you are not focusing on the outcome, but you are very happy even if you have failed, because you are in the complete acceptance of what you are meant to do that day. When you are accepting, you are not judging yourself, you are not focused on the outcome. If something goes wrong, you say, okay, I was meant to fail because this is the process I'm going to. And that day you'll not talk about motivation, because motivation is short-lived. I'll say it again, motivation is short-lived, but there is something known as self-motivation. That time yourself, which is your inner voice or your soul, that is telling you that you should do this. You are doing that because you're trusting that. And in that path, you will come across many life tests. And every time your life will test, and what you will be tested on. You will be tested on if you trust yourself or not. you will be tested so hard that there may be certain things that happen to you where you lose everything and you have to make everything from scratch. But that day you would know, you know what, I had to make this because I had to learn something new. And there would be one day where everything that you have failed in, you will pick up the right lessons from those and you will start to use them on the track that you have started on that new day. That is the day where you will know I am at my soul purpose, because I don't have to think to make things work that day. The things will be automatically working. They would be working automatically because you are in the right alignment. You are in the alignment of yourself. You are in the alignment of your mind, body and soul. So when your mind, body and soul are perfectly in alignment, which is like perfectly 0 degrees deviation from each other, like you are thinking the same thing, your body is doing the same thing, your soul, your inner self is telling the same thing and you're doing the same thing, what will happen? Your focus would be so strong that you'll start to do the impossible things those times, at those days. Those impossibles are only possible because you started to trust yourself. All the other paths were just telling you to trust yourself. So until unless you trust yourself, you won't be able to do the impossible that you are here to do. And those impossible things are actually coming from your heart, because you are here again for a purpose. All the other paths are just telling you how everything works and what is misalignment, or you're not listening to yourself, or you're crying. Whenever you're crying, you go into the zone of why did this happen to you? Let it happen to you, but in the process, when you shed your tears, also let yourself cry, because that is the natural mechanism of draining out or cleaning the negative energy that you have. So wrong things will happen to you, right things will happen to you, but all the wrong things that are happening to you are all the right things that should happen to you, because you are being pushed to the right track. Let life happen to you and don't try to control what is right or wrong in your life, because until and unless you come to the alignment of your mind, body and soul, you will just be judging everything. You will also judge the people in your life. You will also judge the statements, or you will judge the place where you are at. But if you start to ask the question of why I am here, what is the purpose of my life, if I am happy or if I am smiling every day when I'm going back from work or any task that I am doing, you will be in a very natural state and you don't have to push yourself to do anything that day. And if you're not doing something that day, it's completely okay. You will be in completely 100% acceptance. Okay, I was not made to do this today. And you might be doing something more the other day. So coming back to yourself, retrospecting every failure which is not a failure, and being with yourself, it's a very, I would say, it's a very peaceful process, but at the same time it takes a lot of effort when you start to listen to yourself for the first time, because simply when you do something new, it takes time to make that habitual. And you might not have discovered that what I'm saying, because it is not in the books, or it's not something that everybody talks about. if you are listening to me today, or if I'm talking to you about self, it is like you are connected to me in some way because you have things in your mind, or your soul is telling you to do something in which what I am speaking to you is useful. There is a reason why you all are connected to me, or there is a reason why I'm even speaking this out to you, or why I am making a video for you. So everything in this world is connected. You're not doing something without a reason. Yes, it is true, you might not know why you're doing something, but if you don't get into the zone of knowing anything but simply doing, observing and flowing with the process, the reasons will unfold itself. The reasons unfold only after you have gone through that process. So I'll tell you a very interesting story that I have listened in my life when I was going through certain things, and it's a story about like a clay pot. It's like when the dough is being kneaded, it will be like beaten 100 times, it will be forged, it will be given different shapes, and after that when you put pressure by using your fingers, it goes into your churning clay pot or the rotating wheel. The person making that clay into certain designs, he might use very sharp tools, he might use threads, he might use his pressures of the fingers to give different designs to that clay, right? And once that clay is turned into a certain designs, maybe a cup, maybe a plate, or maybe a huge vase, it goes into the oven or the kindling fire, and that kindling fire is so hot that the clay pot doesn't know, that the clay doesn't know what would be the outcome. And after that roasting into the oven, it is being painted, and different kind of paints are there, right? So when you see that dough, when it was in its natural state, it didn't know what it will become, but it was just going through the process. This is how your life is. You don't know what you're becoming through when you're going through different chapters of your life. But if you just close your eyes and say whatever is happening to me is the right thing, and that is happening by the will of God, because nothing happens by the will of God and nothing moves in this universe without the universal force. If you just close your eyes and trust the process and keep on trusting yourself and throwing light on yourself and finding solutions from inside, you will come out through many chapters of your life, and when you turn back, you will get to know, what, so many interesting things were happening to me and I was just unaware. I was lost in why this is happening to me, because I was not trusting anything that was happening to me. So the day when you have crossed all those chapters, those 5-6 chapters of your life might have taught you something which has a meaning for the other chapter to begin. So don't ask yourself why this is happening to me, but wait for the whole picture to come together. So chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, they're not like that into your life. There is a reason why they are in the life, because chapter 5 has to come into picture, and that chapter 5 has all the lessons that you have learned from all pre-existing chapters, and chapter 5 is taking you to another level, which is making another beautiful picture. So you might not know what you have in yourself today, but the other person comes to you at chapter 5 and they say you are doing a wonderful job, you dance so well. But if you are not knowing that you are dancing yourself so good, the universe will obviously send somebody in chapter 5 to help you understand and open your eyes that person will appreciate you, and that time you would know, you know what, I didn't know that in those chapters I was actually growing and learning to reach to this chapter 5. So that chapter 5 is the final level of the clay pot where the clay was being painted, and that is how your life works. So don't get engrossed into what not is happening. It will not happen because it's not in alignment. Just leave what is not happening and give way to what has to happen into your life. You don't have to make ways. The universe will make ways because that is the job of the universe. It will make ways for you to reach to a level where you are supposed to reach, and it will bring you in alignment. Your only job in this world is to first of all learn from that chapter. Second is to trust yourself. The more you trust yourself, the more you learn what you're learning. And third is trust what is happening and leave what is not happening. Leaving of what is not happening to you is giving off the control to this universe, and that's the most difficult task. And we'll talk about like how you can make it work some other day, but today I'm just here to help you understand that trust your inner self, because that is where your happiness is, that is where the peace of mind is, that is where the failure doesn't matter to you. Anything and everything is possible in this world only when you trust yourself. That day adversities will not happen, and you will be able to digest everything what is happening. So start to accept yourself fully and completely. When you start to accept everything inside you, even the slightest of your faults, or even if something is wrong in you, you accept it, it naturally gets fixed itself. And you have to understand that, because once you leave something, that opens itself naturally to help you understand this is where you went wrong, and that is how it fixes. But if I hold on to something and I don't let that go, I will keep on holding to all the wrong things. I won't change my perspective that day. So to help yourself change your perspective, you have to actually listen to yourself and start to trust yourself. So I think today I'll just leave you with one thing. You have this swan here, right? They're the most beautiful birds, and they are so white and serene. Like when you see those swans, you feel very loved. Why? Because first of all, you are seeing the color white, which is very pure. The other thing that you are seeing is they are in the water, or even if they are in land, they are just moving. And the beauty is to see them, to observe them. And when they fly, they have trust on their wings. How did they learn this? They learned while falling. They learned to fly when they were falling. So you are just seeing that bird, but what the bird is going through, the bird knows. Bird is the only witness themselves that what they are going through. The number of times they fall, they only know they are falling. They only know themselves how to get up. Nobody is giving them training, right? They are just listening to the voices of other birds. They are listening to the waterway they are in. But who is teaching them how to fly? Again, the air, the water, or the surroundings they are in. They are learning themselves. So when you are learning something themselves, as these beautiful swans are, just get engrossed in the process. trust it, like these birds do. And you outside you're beautiful, because these birds are beautiful. That is how beautiful you are. The process are beautiful, but when the person or the bird is in the process, they don't know how beautiful the process is. So trust the beauty of wherever you are. Trust wherever you are today, however you are today, whatever situation you are in today, you are perfectly perfect in that moment. And when you start to trust that moment, you start to live in that moment, and that is when you will see the beauty of life, as you see these swans. And that is how life works, and that is when you start to see the bigger picture, as you see when you are in the aeroplane. So everything from the high level looks beautiful. The lower ground will not tell you how life is working or not, but the creation of the life is beautiful. So you have to trust that. So wherever you are, however you are, whatever situation you are perfect at that moment. Do not question yourself, because you are made perfectly. The way you are behaving in that moment, whatever, angry, sad, happy, joyous, anything, the way you are behaving, you're perfect in that moment. Do not question yourself, and that is how special you are. So happy living, happy watching the birds, happy smiling, happy acceptance. Just see how perfect you are. And if you really want to see how perfect you are, wake up early in the morning, go to the mirror and give yourself some observation of how you are made. You have been made very beautifully. So see how beautiful you are, and the world will appear beautiful to you. It's because everything starts with you. So today I would just be leaving with everything that I have spoke to you today. So be blessed, you are blessed, stay blessed, and I love you all, because I really love myself. So self matters. So motivation is short-lived, but self-motivation is long-lived, because you don't have to push yourself that day. You will be flowing naturally with everything that you have in your life. So be grateful wherever you are, stay blessed wherever you are, stay smiling wherever you are, and don't forget that you are the first person who loves yourself the most. So bye for now. And this one that is really pretty. So bye, and I love you all.